Well, hello and welcome. I'm freshly back from playing volleyball and managed to sneak in this daily because I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to record it. I already played this on the train earlier. It's a bunch of fun and you can go for a rather unusual strategy here. So I thought, yeah, why not sneak in this recording and showcase how you play this daily. But before we start properly, you can see the cards over here. You can read through them. Notable cards here are a lot of Rising Sun cards. Again, it is as if the game wants me to advertise my campaign playthrough. But no, I'm kidding. I will link it, but of course, don't feel obliged to go there. This daily, though, has a lot of Rising Sun mechanics in that it has, I think, all of the cards that give you debt on play. Maybe there's more that can do that that I'm currently not thinking of, but there's Gold Mine that you can gain a gold for just for debt. There's Change that can trash a card to gain a card costing more, and then you convert the difference into debt essentially. Root Cellar, simply giving you 3 debt on play, and Craftsman. Oh yeah, but there's also Litter and whatchamacallit, the Smithy variant Imperial Envoy. So yeah, of course there are more cards that give you that on play, but we have 4 of them here. And also one of the nastiest attacks, Ninja, in that it is a shadow card militia, so it will reduce your hand size very often during the game. But as a kind of counter, we have Ronin over here, which allows us to draw until we have 7 cards in hand. Especially nice if we pair it with Rustic Villages, which even allow us to decrease our hand size by discarding 2 junk cards and drawing 1 more card. Then we have River Shrine for trashing, and also Change for trashing, I guess, but River Shrine gets you there faster as it can trash 2 cards and still do something useful during your turn. And apart from that, Samurai fades a lot in the face of Ninja. It's not that useful here, I think. And Poet. And yeah, you might have noticed these funky sun markers on Poet, on Rustic Village, on River Shrine. And those mean that after 5 of those cards have been played, Growth will activate the prophecy that says when you gain a treasure, gain a cheaper card. Now, usually gaining treasures isn't that great. You junk your deck, you have some payload, sometimes it's the only payload. And here also there's no virtual plus coin, like no card that says plus money except for Change itself. But here there is a way to gain lots of golds for just 4 debt. And if growth is active, you can gain a gold with Gold Mine and immediately gain a 5 cost card like Gold Mine or Ronin, or if you so want, also Rustic Village, whatever you need. And that makes for an insane combo because by turn 9 or turn 10, or if you have bad draws 11, you are going to be able, if you're going for that strategy, if you are able to empty all of the duchies and 2 other piles, and thus end the game essentially. If you manage to get all of the 8 duchies, that's 8 times 3, 24 points, plus maybe a few estates. So you are able to get to almost 30 points, and that means your opponent will need to gain at least 4 provinces and a duchy or whatever. Then you also are out of gaining one of the duchies to go against that, and that's not that easy to do quickly. I mean, it is possible if with perfect draws maybe, but if your opponent is not going for that strategy and you are, then you're just going to end the game before they are able to do proper stuff with the provinces. This strategy has the caveat that apart from the duchies, you're not going to be able to score. You're going to get into a lot of debt from the gold mine, possibly even root sellers and or craftsmen, and you're not going to gain the golds to play them, but rather you're going to gain the golds to just gain you 5 cost cards. So if you're not fast enough, then this might bite you. But being able to just obliterate the duchy pile, as you will probably hopefully see with gold mine growth, is just insane. And this even gets accelerated by Amass. And Amass means that for 2 money, if you have no action cards in play, you can gain an action card costing up to 5. This has many effects. Most notably, it doesn't matter which opening you have, you will always be able to open with 2 5-cost cards here, which is a thing you don't want, but nonetheless you would be able to. And also it makes Ninja worse, because if you're attacked by Ninja and you have to discard down to 3 cards, then Amass, you can just buy Amass and gain whatever card you intended to gain, unless you play a River Shrine or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I would say we start to get going. Let me just quickly show you the kingdom plot. Looks kind of funky, kind of innocuous, actually. Not like this should be a rushy 9-turn, 10-turn kingdom. But yeah, it has everything you would like. It has attacks, gains, thinning, drawn, village. All not super insane, but enough for you to build an engine. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. And yeah, I don't know. We're going for this crazy strategy. This is going to involve early on to just go for river shrines and thin the deck very aggressively. Then pick up some rustic villages with the passive ability of River Shrine. Also, River Shrine works very well with this debt kind of strategy. It's going to be useful throughout the whole game, essentially. If we put ourselves into lots of debt, then River Shrine is still going to be able to gain cards, because we won't gain cards during our buy phase. And thus we are going to, whatever the opening is, we are just going to open double River Shrine. If they collide, you're kind of sad, and we'll probably just gain a Rusted Village and amass for a Ronin on the other turn, I believe. But if they don't collide, you get to thin possibly 4 cards, and unless one of them bottom decks, which hopefully doesn't happen as well. And that's just insanely strong. And as I said, Ninja can be countered by Ronin, so you do want to get a few Rustic Villages and 1 or 2 Ronins. But the main thing is then to get your hands on Goldmine as soon as growth will activate, and you might, if you don't hit 5 naturally after gaining the Ronin, then you might also go for a Craftsman off of one of the River Shrines. But yeah, I think that wraps up the opening discussion and the strategy discussion. Kind of long, 8 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm blathering. It's probably still the adrenaline from volleyball pumping. It essentially doesn't matter what you trash here, as you will always just do the River Shrine thingy. And it's very nice that we see the other River Shrine. And it also doesn't really matter that we we get attacked here. It doesn't change anything, essentially. Now, here we have different options. If you're greedy, you could go for a Craftsman already, but I don't think that's correct. You do want to try to see those River Shrines, and since we are going to have 9 cards, I think actually a Root Cellar is best. And then next turn we can gain Rustic Village Craftsman, and then the Craftsman will gain us a Ronin or a Gold Mine, depending on where we are with the growth stuff. And here we will probably discard, I was about to say, but yeah, we are going to discard anyways, because we do not want the other River Shrine to bottom deck. And yeah, we wouldn't have needed to do that, but anyways, it's nice to also clear out the shuffle. And we are already starting to go into a significant debt. We're not able to pay this off anymore, but nonetheless, we have thinned down very successfully. Yeah, probably discard anything except for draw, and maybe we will already be able to do some Ronin stuff here. of course, I was hoping to find the craftsman. Now, the other cards are just a river shrine. No, we discarded the other one. So it's just a copper and a craftsman. If we play the root cellar now, we will never be able to draw the card unless we have a 50. Yeah, we have a 50-50 to draw the card we gain off of the craftsman. And also we have a 50-50 now if we just play the rustic village. So I think we play the rustic village here. Although no. Yeah, no, it's no, actually we can guarantee it, even though it's also not optimal. Um, but we are able to amazing draw through, trash one more copper, gain 2 more cards, and I think this just wants to be Rustic Village Root Cellar. If we are greedy, this could also be a craftsman, but we already occupied some terminal space with this Ronin we just gained off of the gold. So probably just a root cellar, actually, yeah. Just be sure that we can draw. And yeah, we won't ever get out of debt, but it's turn 7 and we already have this insane deck capabilities. Let's actually decline here, trash 2 cards, and draw up. And then this craftsman, well, we need to waste a draw here, but this craftsman can gain us a gold mine. The gold mine can gain a gold and a gold mine. I didn't comment this, but of course we trashed the gold as it's a junk card essentially for our deck. Yeah, and now we can just keep going for a bit, gain all of those gold mines, which will be able to gain us duchies the next turn. And yeah, I mean, life is simple, really. Just empty all of this stuff. Probably we could try to put in another Ronin, or we just play super greedily and go for yet another gold mine. Let's go for the slightly safer option of putting in a second Ronin. Could play those golds here, but let's just play for maximum debt. And the only thing that could bite us now would be a dud where we don't, or actually, actually let's be greedy. Let's gain the gold mine. Otherwise we won't be able to finish on the next turn. And this actually might allow us to finish on the next turn. Because now we have 10 gains, 11 gains. Yeah, now if we if next turn we find a rustic village in our opening hand or a root cellar and then into rustic village, then we are golden. And then we might even win in 8 turns, and that's insane. I didn't expect this to be possible here, but we had like the perfect draws. And yeah, I mean, here we can discard, although if we find a river shrine, then yeah, but let's just try to get through as much stuff as possible, just gain all of the duchies. And if everything goes well, then yeah, we can, I guess we play the rustic village again. Yeah, trash those 2 and draw up. And yeah, wow, I did not think, like, I played this twice before, and once I finished in 11 turns, once I finished in 12 turns, but here the draws worked out perfectly. We have 2 river shrines that will just be able to gain us the last 2 rustic villages, so we might as well decline that, decline that. Okay, we don't have any better stuff to do. We can get through more of that. Trash some more golds, because who wants those golds? Gain 1 more estate. end our buys with exactly 100 debt and 26 points. And wow, that's the 8-turn victory, but that's insanity. Like, everything just worked out perfectly, to be honest. Like the opening, we got to trash turn 3 and turn 4, and then got our hands on the craftsman stuff very early. And we even had some gains to spare this last turn if AI hadn't gotten those 2 rustic villages to help us out. Because we got 2 of the estates. But yeah, 26 points in 8 turns, you're not going to beat that with a province-centered strategy. So you really got to go for those gold mines and play this debt strategy. And end the game with 100 debt is kind of nice, kind of in style. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's a crazy kingdom. 8 turns. Was not expecting that to be possible here. But yeah, one last look at our beautiful deck with 12 golds, 12 of those pesky golds. And yeah, I mean, AI opened change, that's the first mistake. Opened Ronin with it, also not too great. Yeah, you gotta go for this River Shrine stuff and yeah, hammer in everything. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I'm very, very happy I decided to record this because this is a beautiful miniature in 8 turns. And yeah, I will try to catch you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.